بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Um, my name is Tayyaba Sabir, and I'm a mother of two daughters. So the topic that I'll be talking about today is Jahez ek lanat hai. I'll take the slogan as is for the topic, or I'll try to uh, bring to your notice the drawbacks and the things which actually prove that it really is a curse. Um, although we parents do our best to support our children and make their lives easier, and we keep saving things for a long period of time to eventually give it to them, and they'll have a nicer life. But in the process, we neglect the fact that the girls can see when they're growing up, they can see the things that they like. They would like to use it for their room or for themselves or in the kitchen when they're grown up. But it's just put away and told them that this is for your dowry. So at that point, there's some things that happen while we are collecting all that dowry as the girls are growing up, and there's some points that happen when the dowry is given and afterwards as well. So I would like to record some audios and send it to and they'll be uploaded bit by bit, so it's not a whole long inconvenient uninteresting stretch of audio for you, inshallah khair. So today basically I'll speak on I'll give you a background of why I came to feel that this is important. Firstly, that when I had my first daughter, the kind of congratulations that I got weren't up to my mark, and I am the eldest of four sisters. So I had seen it all my life, how people and how people made the parents feel inconvenienced by the birth of a daughter. Although the parents themselves may be really overjoyed and excited, and or maybe they're not, even if they're not excited, at least they're not burdened, because those things are defined for the jahiliyyah of the Quraysh, and in those times when their faces would turn dark because they heard the father heard the news that he's got a daughter, and his face would turn dark and he would hide away from shame. And we see it today. We just don't go as far as burying our daughters alive, but we just really at the border, at the boundary there. It's a very hurtful thing to admit, but that's true. Even for educated people, it's the same. It's the same across the border. So when I was born, or my sisters were born, I couldn't comprehend what could make them feel that they are a burden. They don't need nothing. They just need a little feed here and there and some diaper changes, and they don't need the jahez. I didn't understand that there's a whole thing attached to these little beings who've just come here with little bellies and little needs and a little care and love, and they give you so much. I mean, the joy and the love that the presence of a child brings, and the blessings along with it, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, that do not kill them for provision, because I am the provider. I am the sustainer. I'll provide for them. So it wasn't these little girls, the baby girls, that were the burden. It was the fact that the parents or those who are looking down upon the birth of this girl are the people who are supporting a very disgusting, un-Islamic custom that has nothing to do with the baby girl. So you strip the joy of a rahmah from the parents just because you have failed to see, or you have failed to admit to yourselves and others, I mean, among yourselves, that this is not necessary, this is not a part of our religion, and this has nothing to do with the birth of this little being. It has, she has done nothing to deserve that kind of sorrow. At one point, there were some relatives in my family which were actually crying at the birth of some sisters of mine who were down the line, third or fourth. So I'm sure you can all relate to it, and there would be many girls and ladies who are listening to it, and they might self be those girls at one point who the relatives cried upon at their births. So therefore, it's a very touchy topic, and it has a lot of emotional baggage that it brings along, and I feel like we are educated and empowered enough now that we can take a stance. And mostly I see people, I see women, I see them really going out and seeking religion for what it is, and making sure that their children, their daughter know that, or their sons know the religion, what it really is, the authentic sources, not just, what they learn from their grandparents, but they really go out and go for the sahih hadith and go for the real ayah and their translations and their explanations and everything. So therefore, I feel like it's just a matter of bringing it to notice. It's just a matter of saying that we all have our part to play. We all, every one of us, be it a little girl who's just waiting for her brother's marriage, or be it a mother who's excitedly looking around for daughter-in-laws, or the daughter-in-law herself who is going along to look for a brother-in-law's wife. So I mean, each woman, there's so many, mashallah, and we all have our say, and we all must do our bit to stop this injustice, this oppression on those parents who have grown up a daughter. Everyone knows the expenses of education these days. Everyone knows the expense of raising a child. It's all from Allah. But again, if someone is giving you a daughter who's educated, who's a doctor, who's an engineer, who's an architect, there's so much work he's put into the parents have put already into this little girl, and they're ripping their heart apart, giving her to you, and yet it's not enough for us to just accept that girl into our family with all the education and all the skills and whatever not, and still and still ask for more. I mean, there seems to be a complete ignorance, a complete arrogance, a complete lack of empathy towards these parents who've grown this girl to 23, 24, 28 years old, and she's coming to your family now, and still whatever she has learned and whatever she's able to contribute to her own family, it's not enough. It has to have a whole set of furniture and a lot more demands, and in case of elite, some homes and properties and some cars, and in case of the middle class, the things that they need. It's just an utter injustice in our part. And to sum up this background of the upcoming audios, I'd just say something that I, while researching about the topic, came across myself, and it was amazingly embarrassing. It just gave me a window into our religion that I hadn't, a perspective that I didn't have, and it was that Jahez, the dowry, has come to us before partition from the Hindus, and we have heard all this, that it has come from Hindus, but we really don't know the logic where it is really justified. The justification of it was that Hindus used to do, they call their marriages, we have come across it mostly on Indian media, Kanyadan. Kanyadan is, we take it, I used to take it as Shadi. But Kanya is the girl and Dan is the charity. So Kanya, Dan is the girl who goes with the charity that's given to her. So um, from the source that I heard it from, they justified it because they were saying that in their case, in Hindu's case, this charity with the girl is justified because they don't give the respect of a human being to the women. So they have no say, they have no property in any case, be it from their parents' side, be it from the husband or his family side. So she's got nothing. She's got nothing of her own. So to run her matters a little smoother, and since she's not going to get anything from the husband's side as well, there's no meher as well. So they give some charity, so it's a little, it maybe satisfies their conscience as well, whatever. And since we Muslims, the girl gets meher first and foremost when she gets married. It's hers to keep. No one has a right. It's her marital gift that comes from the husband, considering that he's an honest man and knowing that he knows what meher is, and he is giving what he's capable of to this life partner of his. So we do no guidance, we give no teachings to our sons of what meher is, what it really pertains towards their married life, and we just send them their way. Making sure that we're getting good enough Jahez, and we've set up a good enough bari for people to see, and it's right from the start. It's a very dishonest process that happens in majority cases. Here I'm not going to be discussing the the very honest and the very good care cases, families or people who are setting examples. I've heard of women taking a stance that no, I won't take anything from my daughter-in-law. We don't need any dowry. We're doing well enough, and she'll settle and fine. I don't need anything from her side, and that's the stand the mother-in-laws have taken, and I know of it, and maybe you too definitely would have heard of some stories. It is happening, alhamdulillah, may Allah put barakah in that, and you will see barakah in those families, and because they haven't started a relation with oppression, so they have been true to their God, they have been honest towards themselves and their upcoming daughter-in-law, they have been honest towards the relationship that they've formed, so there will be barakah in that. But why I am addressing this today is because the sad bit is that those few cases are looked down upon as if they're doing something very stupid. What a moron thing to give your son off without any jahez, and they're looked down upon because the conscience of the people who think it's acceptable to take dowry from others, from the girl's side, is pointing fingers at them that, listen, see, they're doing it, when they're doing that, they're looking bad. So it's not just a matter of looking bad, it's a matter, it's a whole. When I sat down and jot down some points, really separated the drawbacks, I had myself not realized that the extent to which the trickle-down effect happens, and the way it just starts affecting everyone in the family, and it is no good. It's oppression indeed, and it is a curse indeed, and I don't understand why are we so willing to accept it so easily. Nothing of that furniture or car or property or crockery or cutlery or anything brings any benefit but the barakah that it sucks out of our lives, it's just unbelievable. So I'm hoping, inshallah khair, with this background. Next audio I'll be recording with drawbacks affecting the mother-in-law, and then I'll carry on with every relation that's involved, and how that relation gets affected, and how the couple themselves get affected by this practice of ours. And being the places that we are in, or wherever we are, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, of course, and wives, mothers, everyone, we have a role to play in our places. So we cannot justify the Hindus' charity with their girl and compare it. We cannot compare the two, that there's a girl who's given this charity, and we cannot put ourselves on the same platform, give ourselves the same kind of lowly status that those poor Hindu girls have, whereas we, in our Islamic status, we have mahar, we have inheritance from our parents, or from our siblings, from our husbands, from our children. We are nowhere compared to those poor girls who are just given charity. So please, I implore you to understand Deen. May Allah help us understand Deen and know the wisdom behind His Deen and His commands, and give us the courage and the strength of faith and the belief that seriously Allah is enough for us. We don't need someone's life savings to have a better life. If we did, the subcontinent would have the best couples and the best thriving marriages, but it does not. We know it. So there's a change to be made. May Allah help us make that. Assalamu alaikum.